Colonial Government. The English colonies brought with them ideas about government and a respect for education that had been developing in England for centuries. By the 1600s, the English people had won political liberties, such as trial by jury, that were largely unknown elsewhere. At the heart of the English system were two principles of government: limited government and representative government. These two principles greatly influenced the development of the United States. When the colonists reached North America, they believed that government was not all powerful. This idea was already an accepted part of the English system of government. It first appeared in the Magna Carta, or the Great Charter. The Magna Carta was signed by King John on June 15th, 1215. The Magna Carta established the principle of limited government. This means that the power of the king or government is limited. This document also provided for protection against an unjust punishment. It protected against the loss of life, liberty, and property. The colonies grew, their town meetings developed into small governments responsible for making local laws. By the 1760s, there were three types of colonies in America: charter colonies, proprietary colonies, and royal colonies. Connecticut and Rhode Island were charter colonies. Settlers were given a charter or a grant of rights and privileges to establish charter colonies. These colonists elected their own governors and members of the legislature. Great Britain had the right to approve the governor, but the governor could not veto the acts of the legislature. The proprietary colonies of Delaware, Maryland, and Pennsylvania were ruled by proprietors. Proprietors were individuals or groups to whom Britain granted land. They were generally free to rule as they wished. Proprietors appointed the governor and members of the upper house of the legislature. The colonists elected the lower house. Royal colonies. By the 1760s, Georgia, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia were royal colonies. Britain directly ruled all royal colonies. In each, the king appointed a governor and council, known as the upper house, and the colonists elected an assembly called the lower house. The governor and the members of council usually did what British leaders told them to do. However, this often led to conflict with the colonists and the assembly. Most conflicts occurred when officials tried to enforce tax laws and trade restrictions. Voting rights. Colonial legislatures gave only some people a voice in the government. Generally, white men who owned property had the right to vote. Most women, indentured servants, landless poor, and African Americans could not vote. In spite of these limits, the proportion of people involved in government was higher in the colonies, estimated at 80 to 90% than anywhere in Europe. This strong participation in government gave Americans training that was valuable when the colonies became independent.